You might not know it, but there was a pretty awesome PlayStation 4 RPG released today. While it's not at the grandiose level necessarily in presentation of a Cyberpunk 2077, a Witcher 3, a Final Fantasy 7 remake, it is an awesome game and I want you guys to be fully aware about it, and that is Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. Now, it's a rather interesting game coming from Obsidian Entertainment, guys that actually won't be developing PlayStation 4 games anymore as they have been acquired by Microsoft, unless Microsoft works something out and allows their games to be multi-platform, which is entirely possible since Microsoft has been a little bit more open to that. But whatever the case may be, Pillars of Eternity 2 looks to be the last game on a PlayStation platform with the aforementioned information, and it is a big one. Now, I had talked up Pillars of Eternity 1 for a very long time. Well, it's not necessarily the console RPG you guys know and love because it's more of an isometric, story-rich, narrative-driven RPG. We have a lot of narrative-driven RPGs on consoles, but you guys get what I mean. A lot of text in the first title, although the second title does also have an emphasis on voice acting, so that is really good. Now, why do I love Pillars of Eternity? Well, that's because it's such a well-made game with a lot of depth to it. If you want to know what this one has you do, pursue a rogue god over land and sea in the sequel to the multi-award-winning RPG Pillars of Eternity. Captain your ship on a dangerous voyage of discovery across the vast unexplored archipelago region of the Deadfire. Bend the world to your will as you explore the depths of infinite possibilities, including detailed character customization, total freedom of exploration, and more meaningful choices at every turn. And that idea of exploration and making a lot of choices is at the heart of Pillars of Eternity and really any other Obsidian title. If you guys played last year's Outer Worlds, you know exactly what to expect. Decision making is a huge element to Obsidian titles, and that makes the game inherently incredibly replayable and always ever engaging. And it doesn't just stop with the choices in dialogue or anything like that. The character customization is at an incredibly high level, and there's so many details and so many options to your character customization that really makes the game, again, very inherently replayable, as you can go back into the game and try a different layout for your character or whatever the case may be, and you'll immerse yourself in a deeper single-player RPG game experience enriched with cutting-edge technology and features. While initially you might look at the game and be like, okay, visually, it's nothing to write home about, when you actually play the game and you see some of the particle effects and things like that, you notice that it is a visually impressive game. Even though it's presented in a different, top-down style, it is still an incredibly compelling game. Deadfire builds on the foundation of classic D&D gameplay with vastly improved visuals, deeper game mechanics, and a whole new handcrafting adventure where choices truly do matter. Discover the new region of the game, the Deadfire. Plot your own course by ship and explore the rich and exotic islands of the archipelago region, discovering new places, interacting with their inhabitants, and engaging in a variety of quests at every port. And when we say a variety of quests, there are a variety of quests. If the first game is anything to go by, there's a ton of content in this game and a lot of additional content where if you want to do everything the game has to offer, you are going to be sinking a lengthy amount of time into the title. And even if you want to naturally go through the game and not do absolutely everything, even that is going to take you quite a bit of time. And then when you add that inherent level of replayability to the game, suddenly you're talking about an experience that could take up a lot of your time. The game also notes build your party and customize your companions, and this is another big element of the game. Choose from 7 different companions to join you on your quest and assign multiple classes and deeper abilities for each. Witness their personal relationships and interactions unfold with the addition of the new companion system, and captain your ship across the seas. As your stronghold on the seas, your ship is much more than simply a vessel for exploring. Upgrade your ship and crew, choose what skills you want to improve, and in order to survive dangerous encounters along the way. Obviously, this being more of a ship-themed game, pirate-themed game, whatever you want to call it, that is going to be a big element of the title for those of you that played the first title. Not necessarily a big element of the first game, but Deadfire does add that to its repertoire. Now, as far as the narrative of the game, it's the return to Yora. The god, once thought to be destroyed, returns to life in the form of a titanic statue, nearly killing you as he destroys everything in his path. It's up to you, the Watcher of Kaya Nua, to discover Eothas' purpose and decide to help or hinder in his efforts. With an enormous open world, a massive cast of characters, beautiful hand-painted backgrounds, and a story you can play any which way, Obsidian Entertainment is bringing you Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. And I mentioned a little while ago, the companions is a big element of the game. You'll be accompanied by companions familiar and new as you travel through the Deadfire. Some, like the loyal editor, have stayed with you out of a sense of personal duty. Others, like the unpredictable ones, have their own mysterious reasons for accompanying you. New to the Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire from the original is the companion relationship system, where companions will not only engage with you, but each other depending on the decisions you make and the events they experience in the world. And of course, we mentioned how the world is enormous and you'll be able to explore every inch of it and explore the Deadfire itself. It's an island chain comprising a huge city, fiery volcanoes, mighty pirates, and desolate sandbars. You'll navigate the Deadfire on your ship, and of course, exploring the open world will lead you to any number of encounters that could take up hours of game time. Some helpful, some dangerous. You may even come up some undiscovered lands. Assemble your crew, board your ship, and may the wind be always at your back. And again, ships is a big element of the game. Your trusty ship, the Defiant, is your main means of getting around the Deadfire's open world. It's also your home base and that of your companions and your crew, where you can plan things out and figure out what you want to do. You'll also be able to upgrade it, hire new crew members, and even take it to combat using a dedicated ship-to-ship combat system developed especially for Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. Build up enough wealth and you'll be able to buy larger and more impressive ships too, so you're not limited to just this singular ship. You can always get a bigger ship as long as you have the means to acquire it. So that's the general information about the game, but how was the general reception from critics, at least for the PC version? Well, it's got an 88 on Metacritic, which is a rather good score, and it got pretty good reviews across the board, and I want to take you guys through some of the Metacritic listings. MMORPG.com gave it a perfect score, noting if you're looking for the next and perhaps greatest grand classic RPG, if you're aching for an epic single-player adventure, if you're seeking a setting outside the norm, if you're hoping for a story that takes you in and hangs on, Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire fills the bill. It is something special, something you'll want to play again and again, and is a game that you'll undoubtedly be remembered as one of the genre's best. God is a Geek gave the title a 9 out of 10, saying Pillars of Eternity 2 is incredible. From the layered but accessible combat to the deep conversation systems and sailing around a world packed with quests and events, there are a few RPGs out there that can stand up to this giant. Edge Magazine 9 out of 10 as well. Far from simply feeling sufficiently old school, Pillars of Eternity 2 is a game of systems and settings working in wonderful harmony and with a pioneering spirit, exposing what is that players miss about those particular good old days on the first place. Obviously, it's more of a classic RPG, so again, if you're more familiar to the consoleized style of RPGs, maybe picking up Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire right out of the gate isn't the best idea, because it is a $59.99 release, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Maybe going the route of picking up Pillars of Eternity 1 Complete Edition for what, less than $19.99, that would be a better option for you, given that you're not giving as much investment, and you're still, in my opinion, getting an incredibly high quality game. That one also includes the base game and all of the DLC, so that might be a better starting point if you are a little bit weary about dropping $60 right out of the gate. However, let's talk about that $59.99 price point for Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire, because you can see it as a little bit controversial given the fact that the PC release of this game came out all the way back in May of 2018. Almost 2 years after the initial release, a game being $60, obviously that is not the ideal world in which I want to live, but let me offer you guys this. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire does come in the form of the Ultimate Edition, Definitive Edition, whatever they're calling it, on consoles, where it does include the DLC as well, and that is going to add a sizable amount of content to the game, so do keep in mind of that. And given the enormity of this game and how much content you're getting right out of the gate, I do feel like that $59.99 price point, if you're a fan of classic RPGs, you played the first title and you enjoyed it quite a bit, you're gonna enjoy Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire quite a bit, and you're not gonna think about that $60 that you dropped. You're gonna think it's an incredibly high quality game. At some point, is it gonna go on sale? I'm sure that it will, and maybe it will be a better buy then, given that Pillars of Eternity 1, again, now you can find it south of $19.99 so often. And if you're a first-time watcher, the reason I bring price into this discussion so much is because a big emphasis on this channel is getting value out of your dollar, and in the case of a $59.99 release being 2 years old, yeah, that is going to cause a little bit of question, but I think in the case of Pillars of Eternity 2, because they're offering you so much additional content and so much additional value for your money, I do think it's going to be a game well worth it. However, again, if you're not familiar to the classic RPG style, if you're not familiar to what Pillars of Eternity is and these old school RPGs, they aren't for everyone, and I would recommend you to check out PoE 1 first and see if you like it, and then you can jump into PoE 2, although Pillars of Eternity 1 is quite a lengthy game in its own right, and Deadfire is even longer, so that might not be the best idea in the world because you might be packed with game content for the rest of the year. But as far as a Steam reception for the game goes, because I do like to look at that, 5,087 Steam user reviews, 84% positive, and then recent reviews, 279 user reviews, 89% positive. This is a game that has made progress over time with updates that Obsidian has rolled out, and they always do a good job as far as that's concerned. So we gotta give them credit for that, but unfortunately, again, they have been acquired by Microsoft. It's probably the best for them if that helps them put out big budget, high quality titles. Hey, more power to them. But just know that Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire is out today. It's gonna be a high quality RPG. If you haven't played the first one, go play that. Get excited for the second one. A ton of content here, north of 100 hours of gameplay, probably even well over that. And that's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.